Hey guys, so this is another update video, and this time is for Tesseron. And I do have some footage this time and on the attack. And it may be surprised because remember, Loki was amazing in F4. I still think that he's pretty amazing in F4, not doing so much damage as he used to. But Tesseron is brand spanking new, and with his +3, he's able to revive and lose life and all that good stuff. And he's able to get the opportunity to actually do a bunch of damage in a frickin' 4, getting 199% attack or something like that. So check this out. I just finished war, and somebody attacked with this guy versus one of our strongest guy, and this happened. Check it out.
Fire leads us to eternity!
The circle of life and death is eternal.
Let the road show you his heart.
Let all men turn to gold.
So yeah, in F4, he's definitely powerful there, for sure. Because did you see one of his damages? It didn't actually crit, but it did do 30k freaking damage. That is insane bonkers damage, guys. I mean, I'm sorry. That is insane damage. But the thing is that I've only seen him do this type amount of damage, specifically in F4, specifically using his own weapon, specifically having Director N right next to him, +5 Director N, giving crit and crit damage there in that situation. So only in that situation I'm seeing him do a lot of damage. And in Summit, when he was paired with Messinket. And sadly, I did not record it because it was freaking Summit, and I should have totally recorded. But anyway, I did beat the team, but I was worried for a second because I thought that between Messinket and Tesseron, they were going to destroy my team. And yeah, that was really worrisome, but... yeah, but the thing is that, remember, Messinket gives 50% crit chance and 100% crit damage. It's supposed to raise base stats, but it feels like straight up crit chance and crit damage there. So that buff does give Tesseron an edge of actually doing extra damage. Messinket lowering the shields and him naturally jumping the shields right there in that situation. So that combination is really strong, but since is Messinket the one that is giving all that power, is actually Messinket doing everything in that situation. Outside of that, I haven't seen Tesseron actually doing a bunch of damage there. Now, for weapons, I think that his own weapon is pretty awesome to have it, as long as you have Director N actually giving him the buff for crit chance and crit damage. This weapon here. The thing is, it only gives 25% crit chance and 50% crit damage. The crit damage is the part that you really want. But the thing is that purple is not exactly a color that crits a lot. So you're going to need something else that's going to give him more crit chance. So he's able to actually perform this ability for the crit damage nicely in that situation. Outside of that, you can try to give him an attack weapon. For example, the weapon for Abigail. Abigail's weapon gives 75% attack. And since his 9 badges ability is attack, you can stack those two together in that situation. So that's really awesome in that case. Now, there's one thing that I did notice while I was testing him around. And let's see which stage here. Oh, this one's good. So there is something that I can definitely talk about here. Let me switch this weapons here. Since I have him a +3, he is going to actually revive, so I don't really need to give him a shield weapon or a weapon that's going to protect him, because he's able to revive twice. So that's really freaking powerful, really freaking useful. So you can actually play around and give him different attack weapons in that case. Okay. I saw a little bit extra mana there. That's because of the weapon there. So, right off the bat, let's do this. Let me show you the first thing that I noticed. Is the 45% defense debuff that he has. That actually stats with Elmist. So, if you're purple, you're going to use Elmist all the time. So, this means that this guy plus Elmist, it's 65% less shields, less defense for the target that you actually targeted there. So that's really freaking powerful. Really cool, guys. I mean, that could be the difference between doing a lot of damage and not doing a lot of damage versus bosses. But we definitely have to play around a lot more to actually see that and actually get that out of the way in that case. And those debuffs is really awesome. These debuffs more than anything. This the one for damage that was pretty awesome versus bosses and things like that. But the shield power receive, I think it's more useful for PvP, and the other one as well. In that case. So let's see. We can get a little bit more here. Or he's probably not going to survive. Wait a minute. Did I just see the coin not have the Doge symbol? Oh, come on. I hope it's not somebody that was complaining that, oh my god, he has the Doge symbol. Oh, come on. Man, some people love to actually destroy the fun out of people, for sure. All right, I'm gonna do it slow. I hope that's not the case. All right, let's do it slow. And the coin. Ah, we still got it. Perfect. Okay, I got worried for a second there. Very nice. They took away the card, but not the Doge symbol. Awesome. Oh my god. Alright, I think I made my point that actually the debuff is actually really awesome here. For the defense specifically. For the other ones, they actually have to go up. Let's not do that. Well, that's the main thing, that those defense debuffs stack. So that's going to be really powerful, really awesome. Especially in PvE versus boss and things like that. And probably get actual best scores there. However, in PvP, I would need to actually see if that's going to be relevant. Because there's so many buffs with shield, so many buffs with some of them sometimes with defense. It may be relevant and may not be relevant. Now, there is something that I am worried with this hero, is that when his revival is awesome and worked correctly. However, if you have an immortal killer like Gillian +5, I'm noticing that he's dying. He's dying straight off the bat there. So that is something that I did report to the developers, and they're probably going to fix it soon. Let's see if we can see it here. Because I did so many fights versus guys that actually have this. Let's see if she dies now. He died, see? He didn't revive there at all in that case. So that's a problem. But the developers already reported that, so they shouldn't be a problem. They should be fixing that soon. There is a fight here that I did test them out without using Gillian. So you can actually see the difference here. Alright, I think this is the one. He did a bunch of damage there. Let's make it faster. So here I'm going to show you how he actually revives without Gillian's ability. Hopefully. Alright. You saw there? Alright. Did we see it? I'm not really sure now. Let's confirm. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to use this guy first, Agony. Yes. Yes, he does revive. There you go, see? And everybody got the Doge thing here. Boom, 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 boom. Crit chance. Let's see if he revives one more time. which is pretty much the thing. You saw that damage that I received there with him just going off. See, you saw that damage. That's his ability, man. All right, you saw that damage. There you go. So that's part of his counter abilities. But this guy actually added Abigail's weapon. Let me see if it's 75% and still. Although my red teams is really freaking powerful. Boom, 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 boom. So I see him more as a hero that's going to enhance how much damage a specific target is going to receive by lowering the defense and the actual debuffs to make the enemies even weaker with all that. But the thing is with him is that he is really random with all that stuff. Even with his immortality killing, it is like 30% chance of being able to trigger immunity to death. But the good thing is that it's going to be random in that case. It's going to be random, and it's going to be every single time he pretty much, when an enemy casts a skill, they have a 30% chance to not be able to revive. So at least you don't have to activate your skills. And there's some teams in the game that go off over and over and over with Naya, with Alia. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Zanya teams. But with heroes like this that you just don't use all your skills and they just go off and they keep getting damage over and over and over again, that could be very useful in taking those teams out. As long as Tesseron or the hero that you're using does enough damage to be able to stop them and kill them. And that is something that we actually have to see after the event for seasonal ends, because that's when their damage is going to be cut by 40%. And if it's not enough damage, it's not going to work. I mean, yeah, that's the real deal, guys. And for the weapon, not sure if I spoke about the weapon, but whatever. His weapon is pretty awesome. As you saw in the footage that I showed you in the beginning of the video, he used that weapon. Crit chance 25% and crit damage 50%. But the thing is that purple is not a color that is focused on crit chance. So you're going to have less probability of actually making him actually crit in that situation. So you would need to actually have a director N that is +5 and giving him 30% crit chance. So he has 55% crit chance when he actually does damage and that nice crit damage there. So in that ambience, in that situation, I think Tesseron is gonna do a lot of damage in that case. As long as they have director and next to him, and with the buff, of course, and using his weapon. However, I think that Abigail's weapon is actually a very good weapon because it's gonna give him 75% attack straight off the bat there in that situation, because that weapon does stack. And when somebody actually gets him with his 9 badges, gonna get that 50% extra attack that may be relevant at actually doing enough damage, as I said, as counters. But we have to actually see it after the seasonal event ends in that situation. However, I'll probably do another update video just in case I see something different. But for now, my verdict for him is he is definitely not a must-have hero. And the main reason why he's not a must-have hero is that there's another hero that actually does a lot more straight-up single attack destroying damage, and that is Grusha. And Grusha turns the target to yellow and also dispels, and yeah, there's a lot of things to love about Grusha. And Tesseron is powerful, and he does have nice abilities. However, it's not as impactful to actually make you like summon him to +5 as soon as possible. However, he does have an interesting role in your team, that he's going to be like the silent hero that does a bunch of things when nobody's looking, and he may lower the damage but put a bunch of debuffs on the enemy that do stack and all that good stuff, and the defense is all awesome. However, I think that on defense he's not going to perform as much as he will perform on attack. On attack, you can control what he's doing a lot more than on defense in that case. And the main reason actually is that I haven't seen him perform very well in in so many different ways in the game, except in PB. PB, he's freaking amazing, and on the attack in F4 and War. But outside of that, I haven't seen him perform. But if that changes, I will make another update video, and I'll let you guys know for sure if I found anything for him. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, please leave in the comments and we'll talk about it. Alright, thank you very much for watching guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.